What's on Jay's mind?
What's up, guys? Welcome to What's on Jay's mind. Today, I want to talk to you guys about Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1. And give you my thoughts on it, go over some fan theories that I've been seeing online, and predictions for Part 2. So this is not a spoiler-free video. There will be spoilers in this video. So if you have not seen Stranger Things Season 4 yet, click off this video, go watch it, and come back and hear my thoughts on it. Okay, so first and foremost, what I want to get into is I just want to praise the writing of this season. The writing is great. The entire series has been great, and this season does not disappoint. The writing is fantastic. I like that they took this season into a darker direction. There's a way darker tone, and considering that this is a horror drama show, to say that it's darker than it's ever been, I think that might say something. The writing's been pretty fantastic. The introduction of some new characters. They did a really good job of meshing these new characters with the old characters that we love. And that's not unusual for this writing team either, actually. So, good job on that. You guys have been, keeping the pace, I guess, if you will, and just killing it with the writing. Let's get into some of the new characters. Some of them likable, some of them not so much. We got this new girl, Chrissy. She's not in it very much, but she's there. I actually kind of like the character, and I wish they maybe wouldn't have killed her off so quickly and maybe let her her story kind of unfold just a little bit more. I like Eddie. I like Eddie, and I wasn't sold on Eddie at first. I actually did 2 watch-throughs of Season 4. And the first time, it took me a while to come around on him. And then the second watch through, I appreciated him a little bit more for what he was. And I do like Eddie. I like Eddie. There's this new character. I don't remember his name, but he's the captain of the basketball team. Default all-American white guy. Like, we're going to call him Chad, because why not? I don't like the character, but that's not a bad thing. I think the character was meant for you not to like. He's kind of a prick, and he does it well. The character makes you not like, the writing makes you not like the character, I guess. And I didn't like him. And then there was Fred. He's a new one too. He dies pretty early on. He's a little attitudey, a little mouthy, and I gotta be honest, since we have Erica, we don't need 2 people doing the same shtick. Erica, I still don't like her. I really can't stand her, but at least there's a lot less of her in this season. And then, of course, we have all the people returning, the usual suspects: Mike, Will, Eleven, Dustin, Steve, Robin's back, Nancy, Jonathan's back, Joyce, Hopper's back. I knew Hopper wasn't going to die. I knew he wasn't going to be dead forever. He has too much plot armor, so to speak. Basically, he's too important to the story. He keeps the story progressing too much. To kill off a character like that. Not that Stranger Things is above killing off characters, because they have done it, but someone who's been around this long probably is not going to get the axe. Even Brenner, who we thought was dead, was brought back in this season. So, we didn't see Brenner die. We didn't see Hopper die either. They even say that. Well, I didn't see a body. And then, of course, we had what was the guy with the beard? I still can't remember his damn name. Not Yuri. Not Lexi. Oh my god, I got it. This is bothering me. Hang on a second. Murray. Murray's back. We like Murray. Murray's funny. Murray's some comic relief. And his character, look, his character is just kind of, it just fits in there perfect for the story. And again, this is all writing, and obviously it's direction too. It's the actors. It's not just the writing, but it starts with the writing. Of course, I said it a minute ago, Erica's back. Boo. And so is Susie. We get to see Susie again. That was kind of crazy when we see Susie. They get to her house, and there's just so much chaos going on in this house, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? But it worked, and they decided to make her house completely chaotic. That's fine. It is what it is. The entire thing worked. The writing was good. Everything was good. I like how they jumped different kind of story arcs without making you forget about what you just saw. So when they jump back, you know, because they have Murray and Joyce and ultimately Hopper. Well, he kind of comes in later on. Let's call it Murray and Joyce. And then you have 11, Mike, Jonathan, Argyle, new character Argyle, and Will. And then you've got over here Steve, Nancy, Robin, Dustin, Lucas, Max. And they follow these 3 different story arcs, and Eddie's in there too. And once they cut away and go back to another story that they were telling earlier in that, even in that episode, you didn't forget, oh, I forgot about these guys. Oh, that's right, this is happening. And I thought the writing did a really good job of doing that as well. The introduction of the character 1, I thought he was badass actually from the jump. I thought he was good. They did a really good job of hiding who he was. And it wasn't until 11 took that thing out of his neck and I was like, oh shit, he's 1. And then 2 seconds later, they reveal that he is in fact 1. The flashback scenes going back to Hawkins' lab when 11 is, well, she's relearning her powers in current day, but they're showing her flashback scenes from 1979 and how she ultimately kind of harnessed her powers and got her powers under control, I guess. And they did a really good job explaining that too. Liked it, loved it. The only thing I really didn't like is I really hate that they separate everybody, separate all the characters. And they did this in season 3, and then at the end they brought everybody back together. And we all know all these characters work better together. So that's really the only thing I don't like about this new season is that all the characters are separated. And I would assume that somehow, some way, they all get back together at the end of it all and, you know, take down Vecna, because with each other, they just work better with each other and together. That's my biggest complaint about season 4, honestly. I like this new villain Vecna. The way, again, when they revealed one as being revealed one as being this child back from 1959. Victor, you know, when he killed his mother, killed his sister, and his dad, Victor, took the fall for it. Victor Creel, I believe, was his name, played by Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, for those of you who don't know. He did a pretty great job for the, 3 minutes that we saw him. But no, I think the writing was fantastic. The acting overall, pretty good. I think a lot of these kids have gotten better as the series has gone on. Even Max, the girl who plays Max, I don't remember her real name, but I really didn't care too much for that character. Even in season 3, really didn't care too much for the character. But now in season 4, they've kind of made you feel sorry for her because of what she's gone through and the trauma that she's gone through in season 3 with, watching her brother die. And the actress portrays that on screen very, very, very well. Very well. So good for her. I actually kind of started to like Max a little bit. And again, not that I hated Max, just didn't really care for Max. Erica, one of the character I hate the absolute most in this entire series. They toned her down a lot, but I still don't like her attitude. Can't stand that character, but again, they toned her back a little bit, so good job there. Good job there. So anyways, overall, I'm going to give this, I'm not going to lie, this is good. I don't know how part 2 is going to, how they're going to top what they did in part 1 of season 4. I think they're gonna. I would assume that this was all written and filmed at the same time, or written at the same time, filmed at the same time, all that kind of stuff. I'm very excited for the second part of this. Definitely looking forward to it. Another thing I like is that they stayed era appropriate. Anytime you have a period piece like this, or I'm watching something like this, no matter what it is, no matter what period, from the music to the wardrobe to the cars to all of that kind of stuff, they pay attention to detail. They've always paid attention to detail. I'd say 99.5 to 99.9% of everything you see, even cars in the background, has been era appropriate. And I love that. And I'll catch myself even pausing and looking up songs whenever soundtrack was great, by the way, looking up songs to see when they were released to make sure it was, before or at least during that same year, whatever season that we're on. So good job on that. Let's get into some kind of fan theories that I've seen online, and with this we'll couple it with kind of fan theories and my theories on season 4, part 2 of season 4. And so first and foremost, I've heard that Steve is going to die. It's the theory out there is that Steve is going to die. And I'm going to debunk this with one being, there's no substance to that, first of all. Why would he die? From what I've seen, people are saying, oh, they're making him too likable. Oh, they're starting to kick up this kind of tension, and not in a bad way, but tension between him and Nancy again. But making him too likable, honestly, Steve has become likable since season 2. Steve was very likable in season 2. If you didn't like Steve after season 3, you're not going to like Steve at all. His relationship, especially with Dustin, but with the kids, is too important. Again, going back to the word plot armor, he's been around too long. He's been around too long at this point for them to kill off that character. Take a show like Sons of Anarchy. They'll make you fall in love with the character and then kill him after they've been there 2, 3, 4 seasons, whatever. This doesn't do that. At least like in a character. So, okay, they have done it, but not a character that's been around this long. Put it that way. Bob in season 2, I think, wasn't it 2? Season 2. Sean Astin's character. Everybody liked Bob. Sean Astin played that role perfect. He dies in the end, but Bob had to die for Joyce and Hopper to kind of get where they are right now. Even Billy was in season 2. Didn't really care for Billy too much. He was kind of an asshole. But in season 3, now he's front and center. And I fell in love with this character because the guy who plays him, what's his name? Draco, something. I forget his name. Anyways, he did a fantastic job as Billy. But he became front and center in your face to die. That was the point of that character, was to die. And yes, even in, we got Chrissy. Boom, she's dead. But I don't see 11, Will, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Steve, even Robin at this point has become too important. Nancy, Hopper, Joyce, Murray's probably safe. I don't see any of those characters biting it in the end. I just don't. Especially not in this season. Let's see how this one plays out, and then we'll talk about season 5 before we get to season 5, I guess. So, I don't see him dying. Because, basically, plot armor. He's too important. He even makes reference at one point to he's always playing the babysitter. Well, if he's not there anymore, then who's going to step into his role? Eddie? I don't think so. Another thing is, I've heard people say, oh, Steve is going to snap Nancy out of her trance, and one theory was the same song he sang to her in season 1, which I think they're in the garage, and he's saying he wanted to go watch Risky Business, I believe it was, and the song in that one, the big song in that one was Old Time Rock and Roll. Maybe. I don't even think the song that brings them back has to be their favorite song. I think when Max, got into the trance, Vecna's trance, they were just saying play your favorite song. Just like when Victor, he came out of it, the song that was playing that he came out of was Dream a Little Dream. They don't say that's his favorite song, so I don't know that it has to be their favorite song. I do think that's not a horrible theory, but because I think we're going to see Eddie bring her out, is what I think. Eddie has his guitar in his room. We've not seen him with the guitar yet. And even the Funko Pop figure of Eddie, it's a Target exclusive, has his guitar, and they're usually pretty screen accurate whenever they're making a pop figure off a movie or TV show or something like that. And we've not seen Eddie with his guitar yet. There's been too much talking about his guitar, talking about him being in a band. When he gets home, when he's going to find the pills for Chrissy, he goes into his room, kisses the guitar. Sorry I was gone so long. I think he goes to his room, plugs in, and starts shredding. What's the song going to be? I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of which, and speaking of Eddie, another theory that I heard was that he's 10. Now, this one of all the theories, I could lend a little more credence to, just because the timeline matches up a little bit better with anything else that's been said. But So if you don't remember, 10 was the kid in the beginning. We start season 4 with the flashback. It's 1979 in this flashback, and in current day it's 1986. I think 10 is probably 12, maybe 13 years old. Eddie is in high school. He's a senior in high school, and they make comment that this is not his first go in high school, so he's trying to get out for the second time, third time maybe even. So the age could match right there. But he was the kid with the magic 8-ball when Brenner asked him if he's ready for more lessons today, and shakes the thing, and it says signs point to yes. The other thing, and this is what I've seen that people have said, oh, this is why, because when he's in the woods with Chrissy selling her the weed, he's like, you don't remember me, do you? Junior high talent show. And she's like, that's right, you were in a band. What was it called? Cannibal Coffins or something. I forget what it was called. Anyhow, he's like, yeah, I looked a little bit different. I had a buzzed head. Well, 10 has a buzzed head. Everybody has a buzzed head. That's, in Hawkins' lab. So if that's your only connection is a buzzed head, and I don't even think people mention the timeline, so I'm kind of giving people more kind of power with that. And the reason I say no, absolutely not, this cannot be the case. There is no any inkling whatsoever that he has any kind of powers whatsoever. If he had any kind of powers, he would know, he would remember. If he lost said powers, he would know, he would remember. Just like 1 had his powers, he had that chip implanted, and his powers were gone because of it. And as soon as 11 took that away, boom, he had his powers ready to go. What we've learned about Eddie, and what Eddie has learned about himself, is that he is not a fighter. He is not in any way, shape, or form ready to take anything on. He literally says, I've learned that I like to run. I run from problems. He's a coward. I don't think he has any kind of powers. I don't think he's 10 whatsoever. I don't buy it. We do find out that even though you are in Hawkins' lab, you can get out, not just by escaping, because 8 was not in the lab at the time when 1 killed everybody. Now, people are going to go, well, 10 was killed. He was in the same room with Brenner, and we thought Brenner was killed too. And he wasn't, because clearly he's in season 1, which is 1982, 3 years after the flashback, which is 1979. And we thought Brenner was dead already from season 1 or 2 or whatever it was, and now, boom, here he pops up in season 4. So we didn't see him die. You can use this theory with almost everybody in the thing. They're just because they're laying there beaten, broken, bloodied, they're not necessarily dead. Just saying. So anyways, that's my talk on Eddie. And I guess the last theory that I've heard floating around, and I don't even know how common this one is that Will is unhetero for Mike. Again, no substance behind that. Now, the first time I watched it, didn't even think that. Second time, after reading these theories online, I'm like, okay, I could kind of see how people might think. But Will's just a sensitive kid. His feelings were hurt. His feelings were hurt because his best friend in the whole world hasn't paid attention to him. And guys, you know this. Junior high, middle school, one of your best friends gets into girls and starts spending more time with her than they do you. You know, what do? Oh, you're pussy whipped. Oh, you're dissing the boys for this girl and blah, 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 blah. It's kind of the same thing, except he didn't ever vocalize it like that. Again, he's just a sensitive kid, and I think it was even beginning of season 3 where Mike says, what'd you think we were gonna do, just hang out in my basement all the time forever playing Dungeons and Dragons? And he's like, yeah. So he's just sensitive, kind of immature, hadn't really maybe grown up, because as soon as Mike apologizes after he tells him, hey, you didn't write, you didn't call, and at first Mike was like, well, you didn't reach out either. Once they have that talk, later on he apologized, and then almost immediately they're back to the way they were, working together, and it's a completely different kind of attitude altogether with Will. Just completely different, almost a complete 180, because he was like, hey dude, my bad, and then of course they find the number in the pen and they go to Susie and get her to help them out with that. So I don't think so, but I do think Will is going to be super, super duper important to the second part of season 4, because what is this drawing? In the very beginning, 11 says, I think Will likes someone. He made a drawing. I think it's for a girl. He won't show me. When they go to pick Mike up from the airport, Will has this drawing on him. Why is this drawing so important that he's carrying it to the airport? And there was even an Indiana Jones moment when, you know, the SWAT type people were busting into the house. They shot the agents, and Argyle had driven up. They jump in the van, they take off. He comes back for the drawing before he leaves. What is so important about this drawing? That's going to be revealed going forward in part 2. Another reason I think Will is super important to the story is because the Upside Down is stuck when Will went to the Upside Down. You know, and they literally said, well, this is the exact moment when Will was taken. They went to Nancy's house. They tried to get the guns. They weren't there. And she said, oh, wait, the guns didn't exist yet. She looked around the room, saw some things that were there that shouldn't be there, and then realized that the Upside Down is frozen in time. It's frozen in the time when Will was taken. So Will is so important, and I think they've tried to hide it, and I think they've done a really good job of hiding it, and maybe I'm just overthinking here, but I don't think that I am. So anyhow, you guys, I mean, this season, as of right now, what, 9.5, it's damn near perfect in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have some other theories out there, fan theories out there, or you want to say anything on the theories that I threw out, or you want to expand on anything I said, put it down in the comments. Let's discuss. I'm super stoked for part 2, and that's coming out in like a day or two. Hope I can get this up. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.